There's a massive dilemma waiting for you when you start your smart home journey that is not mentioned enough in smart home videos. Usually a smart home journey starts with a light bulb, like this, or like this. You screw it in, install the app, change the colors, and it feels like the future. Until your wife, or your kids, or you, out of habit, flip the physical switch off. And boom, your light bulb is dead. Well, it's not dead, it's just offline. So to turn it on, you have to flip the switch again, pull out your phone in some occasions, press the button to actually turn on the light. And let's be honest, that is not a smart home, that is just a toy for grown-ups. Now, the standard solution for this is generally to use a smart relay or a smart switch behind the light switch to control the switch, not the bulb itself. So your lights stay the same, but you have control over the light switch itself. That works. You can use your existing appliances. If you don't want to use smart bulbs, that's okay. But in my case, I wanted to use a smart bulb, which I can control the colors in some different cases. But I also wanted a physical button that is always available for me, for my family, and for my friends. So what I did is I built a smart scene switcher, which has 4 dedicated buttons, which I can program with anything that I want. A rotary encoder with a button, which I can control the lights for dimming. And it has a presence sensor, which I can use if somebody's in the room, and that room will be automated completely. So this way, I will have a physical switch that my family, me, and my friends can use. And I can control my smart bulb the way I wanted to, in the color that I wanted to, from my home assistant. It's basically an ESP board with 4 buttons and 1 rotary encoder, which has also a button. And here's my LD2410c for my presence detection. In the back, I have a 220 volts to 5 volt converter, which I'm going to use to get electricity from the wall and convert it to 5 volts to power all these devices. I also added a switch, which I can turn on and off, just in case. So let's talk about the design. And here I have my components that I'm going to use, my ESP S3 board, as always, my 4 push buttons, 1 rotary encoder, and 1 presence sensor. I wanted to use the LD2420, but it didn't play nicely with my S3 for some reasons, so I switched to the LD2410c. And for the wheel, I have the shape of my rotary encoder inside this, so I can fit it nicely. I also have a part that I'm going to use for my AC-DC converter, which goes right under my rotary encoder. And here goes my 220 to 5 volt converter, and here goes my cable management system that I have inside it. And this will be stuck inside an EU light switch hole that we have. We have round holes in our wall for both the plugs and for our light switches, and this just fits quite nice in there. And for the front, I have of course a 4 button and 1 hole front plate, which is connected with only these 2 parts. I was afraid if you accidentally click on these buttons and the other one will be clicked, because the only angle points are these 2. So if you click, for example, very hard on this center button, you might accidentally click on 2 buttons at the same time. I tested it. If you don't click it very, very hard, and I mean like very hard, it just clicks the button that you want to intend, so there's no problem there. So that's it. This is ready to print. Alright, so here we have the parts that we're going to use, and I have my printed out. I was going to use another part as a base, like this. So it has some kind of a back plate that goes to the wall first. Maybe I'm going to use this, I'm not sure, but this also looks fine, I guess. But I am okay with just using this part, like this. So I have 4 buttons. I have 2 points where the buttons are connected to the case. So I'm not sure how this is going to affect the buttons, because if I click on this side, also this side gets bent, so I have to calculate some stuff right there, but we will see how this turns out. This is for the wheel, and parts go in here. Here's our ESP32S3 board, as always. By the way, I know this board is overkill for this, but I'm using these because of the Wi-Fi coverage, and they're just nice boards. So I have an LD2410 which goes here. I will remove these pins so it fits just nicely in this case. I have a switch which I will use to turn on and off the device, because sometimes, because this is going to be plugged inside the wall directly, I have no way to turn off the device or reset the device if I want to, if there's a problem. Especially the LD2410, recently I get lots of problems with other devices where if you update the device or like restart Home Assistant, the LD2410 gets stuck and doesn't work, so you have to reset the device. Maybe I'm going to change it with some other device, maybe like the 2410c, but this is just simple and mostly works, and I'm okay with it. And the switch button, on and off switch, is always nice to have. So next thing is my rotary encoder, and I have printed also a part for the bottom part. In the EU, as I showed you before, we have a hole, which this goes right here inside this. You can screw this right in. Let me just quickly show you. So if I screw this in, I have the parts that are going to house the power converters right at the bottom of my case. So you can think of it like this. This goes inside the hole. There goes our 220 volts. With this, I'm converting this to 5 volts. And here I will have a part that will make it easier to connect the wires. And this will be one part, so you plug this in and everything is good to go. So these parts are here, these go here, this goes here. That's it. Oh, yeah, I have to remove these, of course. But yeah, that's it. So let's start building. Alright, so I moved from my second desk to my main desk because I had a 5 volt rail here that is already here, and I needed 2 rails for both powering the ESP board and the LD2410c, so I couldn't just use the USB-C from the ESP one. So right now everything is working fine. Our button is working, every one of them. So I click on these, see the buttons are pushing. Also the button for this is also working, and encoder is working just fine. So let's briefly talk about my YAML code. And here, as you might guess, I am defining one light entity that I'm going to control with this device. In this case, I'm going to control my bench light here, which is currently blue. I define it in one place and it will replace it in all code. One additionally thing I did was I programmed a color mode. If you double click on it, it will turn white. If you press and hold and turn the wheel, it will go into color mode and change the color. If you just regularly turn the wheel, it will do brightness. Other than that, this is just basic ESPHome. And that's it. One other thing that you have to do is this device is going to send commands to Home Assistant. So you have to give permission for this device to actually send commands to Home Assistant. So for the options of the Scene Switcher version 2, I check this box which is saying allow the device to perform Home Assistant actions. If you click on submit, now the ESP can send commands to Home Assistant, and Home Assistant will accept any command that is coming from this device. Otherwise, if you turn the wheel, Home Assistant will not change the light, will not change the brightness, will not change the color and so on. It will just basically not work. So now let's test it out. So now I have connected the device to electricity and it's getting energy directly from the plug. It's getting 220 volts and it's turning it to 5 volts and powering all the devices inside it. So this is currently connected to my bench light, and if I push once, it will turn off. If I push it again, turn on. Adjust brightness if I want to. Can turn it down, turn it up. If I double click, it will get white. If I press and turn, it will change color. It can go to red. Double click, white again. Single click, turn off. Click, turn on. Nice. I have 4 buttons that I can use for anything that I want. For example, one will be for the TV, toggling on and off. One would be like the room mood or the room mode maybe. Maybe you have a guest mode, or you have some other modes like night mode, sleep mode or something. And these other 2 can be any scene that you want or any automation that you want. So this goes into the wall. So here you can see my old scene switcher, which I have currently installed in my media room, and I'm going to change this with my new one, with the version 2. And of course, before working with electricity, I always recommend you to turn off the breakers and make sure that no electricity is going in or out of any devices that you're going to work on. Be safe. So I have installed the scene switcher to my wall in my media room, and I have a light bulb, a smart bulb as in my office. And if I click once, the light turns off. If I click it again, the light turns on. If I click and turn the wheel, the color changes like this. If I double tap, it goes back to white. Tap again, close, tap, turn on. Hold and turn the wheel, change color. Double tap, white again. Nice. So there it is, my scene switcher version 2. Just a quick side note, normally a standard light switch is just a breakpoint in a simple circuit. Because of that, you can't use those existing wires to power some devices. To solve this, I ran 2 additional cables from the circuit hub to my switch box, giving it a dedicated power line. The original wires for the lights are now wired together, and the 2 new lines power my device. And as I said before, working with electricity is dangerous. If you have any doubt at any step that you are taking, please consult to a professional. So, see you in the next one.